Wow, stories.
My wife cheats with a man from our athletic club and brags, but when she gets pregnant, I make her regret her infidelity by taking full custody and kicking her out. My wife and I have been married for 9 years and have a precious son, 5. Before this, I believed I was the happiest man in the world. My wife really was amazing both as a wife and mother, and the day she gave birth to our beautiful boy was the happiest day of my life. Our friends even call us the TV family because of how perfect we look to them. My wife is a former campus beauty pageant winner and is constantly approached by men for as long as I have known her. But she never did anything to make me suspect she's not loyal to me. My wife's behavior suddenly became strange. She was totally normal toward my son, but was always annoyed and dismissive towards me for no reason. I tried to communicate about it, but she would just yell at me. I tried to solve it with affection, but she rejected me. It got so bad that we agreed to send my son to my parents' house for the weekend. It was on that weekend that we had a talk, and she broke down and confessed she cheated. The man she cheated with was our acquaintance A, 32M. My wife and I are part of an athletic club that is a mix of hobbyists and real professionals. Some of the professionals act as instructors in the hobbyist class, and A became one of our regular instructors about 2 years ago. I could tell my wife had a little crush on him from the start, but it never bothered me because her behavior never crossed the line. She told me they had a one-night stand. I asked her for the details. Her story was too odd, but I acted like I believed her. She said she had acted badly towards me because seeing me reminded her of her mistake, and she couldn't handle the guilt, so she lashed out at me. I had too many questions, but I was so suspicious I couldn't even get emotional. The next Monday, my wife went to work and took our son to daycare, and I took sick leave. My wife was using a message app to contact A. She's not tech-savvy, but I knew that this app uses local data storage, meaning even if she erased messages on the phone app, they stay on the PC app, which she also has. So I had hoped to find the truth. I logged onto her PC, found her chat with A, and scrolled back a little bit to immediately find a bunch of explicit messages, images, and videos. I was sick to my stomach with the kind of material I saw, such as selfies of my wife in our bathtub telling him she's thinking about him, or an unclothed mirror selfie in a bathroom that I recognized was from a trip we went on with our son. I know I should have resisted, but I pressed play on some of the videos they shared, and it was like I saw a completely different woman. She was so much more enthusiastic in intimacy with him, making sounds I had never heard before and talking dirty to him, and just a totally different person compared to the woman I was used to in bed. I could just tell from these few seconds of videos that she's so much more sexually attracted to A than to me. She also lied about using condoms. I scrolled up to around 8 months ago, and there were still more and more messages, so I exported the chat logs to a text file and printed them. I was crying and breathing hard and wanted to jump out of the window. I just wanted my son, but I didn't want him to be around me in this state. After I calmed down, I looked at the text logs and found out the worst part. She had lied about ending it with him. Their most recent messages showed A had told my wife he wanted to end their relationship. She didn't accept it at first and kept asking why. And he said he had another girlfriend he wanted to get serious with. She begged him, acted sad, then she got angry with him, but he told her that if she kept bothering him, he'd send me their pictures and videos. And these last messages coincided with her change in behavior. So she was not upset with herself, as she claimed. She was upset because she got dumped. They had been chatting for over 1 year. They didn't talk about me or personal matters much. It was mostly flirting, setting up dates, and intimacy talk. My wife is a foreign national and has no family here. So I packed up my bags before she came home that day, sent her messages to tell her I knew everything, and went to my parents' house. I didn't tell them why, just said we had a fight. My wife has been begging me to come back home, saying my son is asking for me, saying she's sorry, and leaving crying voicemails. I am absolutely devastated as my family meant everything to me. I can't even see my wife as the same woman because of what I saw in those videos and images, but more so because she was so good at hiding it. If she didn't get dumped and threatened, I'm not sure I would have ever suspected anything was wrong. I don't know who the real woman is, the woman in the images, or the woman who cared for me, my son, and my parents so deeply. I have so many questions about why she did this. I know that I am not the most physically attractive man that she could have chosen, but I'm a good father, a good husband, I have a great career, and enough money so that neither she nor our son is lacking anything and can do or have anything and go anywhere they want. There are many worse men than me with loyal wives, so what the hell did I do to have her go crazy with another man? It's so messed up that I miss her. I feel like the woman I loved has died, and I miss her so much. I'm worried about my son finding out what his mother did when he grows up and hating me for being weak if I take her back. But what if I divorce my wife and she moves back to her home country? Then we go to court to settle parental rights, and most likely, my son will lose one parent forever. I did get an STD test already. Thankfully, my son looks exactly like me. I know he's mine. I'm just totally messed up by this situation. I can't sleep because her voice and the things she did in those videos replay in my head. I have heart palpitations and anxiety, and I'm messing up at work and missing my son. Logically, I know I should leave my wife, but I feel like I'll never be happy again unless my family is together again. How can I save my family from being destroyed by this? Has anyone recovered from an affair through counseling? What is the best thing for my son? Please help me. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Let's be absolutely clear. You won't be breaking up your family. She broke your family by cheating. Full stop. She is not the person you wanted or believed her to be. What you need to do is to move forward in the way that best promotes your well-being so that you can be the best father to your son that you can possibly be. You can't be happy in a family where one parent can't trust the other. It's devastatingly painful to accept that the dream you wanted is lost to you. But in the end, a hard truth is better than a comforting lie. Now, I do have to say that sometimes couples recover successfully from infidelity, but it requires hard work from both partners, and especially the betraying partner. So if she isn't 110% on board with doing the work to repair the relationship and restore trust, you're better off not wasting the effort. If you do decide to try reconciliation, be sure to have a good couples therapist to help with and oversee the work. Good luck, and sorry you're here. Comment 2. Things like this will hurt when they're still raw. Most people won't want to take the leap of ending a long relationship solely because so much time was invested. Even though the idea of ending things hurts, we, adults as individual beings, are all we have at the end of the day. Even though having others around makes us feel whole, we still need to look out for ourselves and treat ourselves the way we would want others to. At the end of the day, there is nothing another person can offer that you cannot do for yourself. I wish you the best of luck. Navigating this really shitty situation, you are enough for yourself. I don't know what advice to offer in terms of how you will raise your child, as I am not a parent, but it is absolutely possible to have both parents in the child's life without the parents being in a relationship. Now, for the update, thanks for sticking around. Things have only gotten messier since my last post. The day after I left, my wife showed up at my parents' house unannounced, tears streaming down her face, clutching a letter. She had written an apology saying she'd do anything to fix our family. I didn't want to deal with her, but she wouldn't leave. She sat on the doorstep for hours, and my parents, bless their hearts, convinced me to talk to her. It was a mistake. She confessed that the affair with A wasn't just physical. She had fallen for him, but she swore it was over, and that she realized she loved me more. I didn't know what to feel. Betrayed, yes, but also pity for her desperation. I told her I needed time and sent her away. The next day, I found out from a friend at the athletic club that A had been bragging about his conquests, including my wife. The club was in an uproar. A was a predator, using his position to seduce members. The club expelled him, and the news spread like wildfire. I felt a grim satisfaction that he got what he deserved, but it was cold comfort. Then the news dropped. A's girlfriend, who he left my wife for, reached out to me. She had found out about the affair and wanted revenge. She had a video of A and my wife together and threatened to make it public. I begged her not to, thinking of my son's future, the shame it would bring. She agreed on one condition. I had to meet her in person. We met at a coffee shop, and she was just as angry and hurt as I was. She showed me the video, and it was worse than I imagined. But as we talked, we found common ground in our pain. She decided not to release the video, and I was grateful, but it felt like a hollow victory. I went home to an empty house, my wife still begging for forgiveness. I was torn. I missed my family, my son. I thought about the good times, the love we had, and in a moment of weakness, I agreed to meet her for dinner. She was waiting, hopeful. We talked, and she told me she was pregnant. My world stopped. She was sure it was mine, but could I believe her? I was overwhelmed, angry, but also hopeful. Could this be a second chance? We decided to try counseling for the sake of our son and the unborn child. I felt like I was betraying myself, but the thought of losing my family was unbearable. The counselor was sympathetic, but it was hard, dredging up all the lies, the betrayal. It's been 3 days of an emotional roller coaster. I'm still angry, but I'm also scared of being alone, of my son growing up without his father. I feel weak for forgiving her, but I can't help it. I want my family back, even if it means living with the memory of her infidelity.